and another kind of inevitable theme when you're talking about euthanasia or suicide in any form, is this theme of wanting to be in control of the outcome. So the death symposium is I mean, let's just say, I don't again want to spoil things, but there is a certain approval of euthanasia that she finds among members of the
Sure.
death symposium,
Yeah. Yeah.
and they're supposed to be about accepting death. And if you look at it in a physical sense of death, that is true, but death is a bit more than just the death of the body. I mean, the
Mhm.
psychological meaning of death for a human being, there is a sense of fate to it as well,
Mhm.
right? There is a sense of something that's out of your control,
Yes.
something that definitively ends your ability to choose your
Mhm.
destiny,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Um, and so, uh, in a sense, to choose the time and manner of your death or to seek death is a way of ameliorating the problem of death, right?
Yes.
It is a
Yes.
way of trying to take the sting out of death, is it
Yes.
not?
Yes.
Of course, also to take the sting out of life in some circumstances to end your suffering, but also, the idea of death with dignity, which is, that phrase is used often in
Mhm.
regard to euthanasia.
Mhm.
Um, Death with dignity obviously doesn't just refer to the exact moment of death. It refers to the whole process of death and what
Yes.
leads up to death and what
Yes.
surrounds death.
Mhm.
And so death has this meaning that's beyond just the fact that I'm, you know, no longer living in this world. And so, if you really think about it, to embrace death or to face it fully head on would be to have to embrace sort of everything that goes along
Yes.
with death and that's out of our control, and that is something that somebody who's seeking euthanasia is not willing to do.
Yes. Yes. You put it very, very well. That issue of control is really a central theme in the novel. And as Kate enters the world of the Death Symposium, it's really her old friend, the moderator, Del Schrader, who introduces the prospect of 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 Kate just ending her life. So she introduces this theme of control. You can die on your own terms, as Kate puts
Yeah.
it. You can meet the enemy in the open field. Um, but what interests me is that that's really the logical outcome of Kate's sort of softer quest for authenticity that we were talking about earlier. Self acceptance, and whatnot, which all has a certain truth to it. But its logical outcome, or its sort of logical engine, really is control. That it's my life, it's my inner voice that I am listening to. It's my life to craft and to make fulfilling. um, Adele simply offers her, the reductio ad absurdum of that. Okay, take control at the very end. Take your own life. And that makes a certain sense to Kate. Yeah, why,
Right.
why should she suffer all the indignities of palliative care? Why doesn't she just check out? And I wanted to that's at a point where I really wanted to get inside the experience. What does it feel like to really encounter that kind of decision, and to decide, yes, I'm going to take my own life. I'm going to take it on a specific date. I'm going to plan for it. There's going to be a sort of quote unquote liturgy around it. Um, that's a lot of control. It's trying to wrest the question of
Yeah.
death, you might say, out of God's hands and putting it into our own.
Yeah. And again, going back to your success at seeing things from these characters' perspective, the decision, if you are terminally ill and don't want to suffer, you're going to die in a pretty soon anyway.
Mhm.
You were able to make it seem like it makes sense from their
Mhm.
perspective. And I think it does when you get to those kinds of decisions, where it feels like it's just a matter of, how many weeks or months before I die anyway. There is a certain supernatural perspective or a certain piety, I think that you have to see why it matters. Why does it
Yes.
matter that you choose to, you know, to suffer or to suffer with someone,
Right.
rather than to take your own life or to help someone take their own life.
Right. Right.
And so again, I guess that's an accomplishment that you've made with the book is that it does feel plausible, the reasoning, you know.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I appreciate that. I really wanted to kind of put the pressure on myself to show why enduring tremendous suffering could possibly make sense. Because, as you said, the the cancer's inoperable. There's nothing that can be done but palliative care. It's a matter of months, most likely, that she has to live. So the question is upon me, or the burden of proof is upon me as a Catholic novelist to try to imaginatively depict why somebody might choose something other than assisted suicide. Um, and it turns out, again, without trying to spoil too much, that Kate encounters somebody that models suffering that that impacts her thinking in a certain way.